Hey YouTube, how are you this evening? The book that I want to talk to you about tonight is called Born to Walk, The Transformative Power of a Pedestrian Act by Dan Rubinstein. This is a book I started reading back in June, and then I broke my foot at the end of June actually. I was in Berlin, I was there on a business trip, and I had booked a few extra days after the business trip. And on the first of these days, June 30th, I broke the 5th metatarsal in my left foot. I forgot that there was a step between the bathroom and the rest of my hotel room, and so my foot went to the side. And so I wasn't in the mood to continue reading a book on the virtues of walking. So I took a break, I read a bunch of other things, and I got back to this earlier this week, and I finished it today. I actually read it as an ebook on my phone, and as I was starting to read it back in June, I was thinking, oh, this is such a good read, and this is a book I would actually like to own, so I can have something physical to hold on to and underline and everything. And so towards the end of this week, I actually bought it, so it is now mine, my baby. And this is a book by writer Dan Rubinstein. He has a website related to the book as well. It's called borntowalk.org, and this is his first book. It was published in 2015 by ECW Press, and I did some Googling about him. So he's someone who currently works as a writer at Carleton University in Ottawa. I thought he was living in Toronto based on the book for some reason, so he's in Ottawa. And he's written articles in the past and still does for several publications such as the Globe and Mail, the Walrus, Canadian Geographics, but also En Route from Air Canada, the Air Canada magazine. And the book was recently translated into French. It is called in French Un pied devant l'autre, so one foot in front of the other, and it's about walking. It's a book that I quite enjoyed. I personally discovered, I guess because I can't say rediscovered, I wasn't a big walker until maybe 2 years ago, and then there was the Pokemon Go craze and everyone was walking around finding Pokemon, and I decided, okay, I'll try it, you know, just for a few days, just for fun. And I got really hooked, and mostly I got really hooked on walking around my neighborhood and going into streets and alleys to find Pokestops and Pokemon, streets and alleys that I had never taken before, even though I lived just around the corner, and then discovering shops and cafes and street art, and just the general beauty of the city that I live in. And I thought, wow, this is amazing, and this is such a good way to ground myself in the present. And I've really been enjoying these walks, and I get frustrated in the winter because the sidewalks get really icy, and then I can't go outside as much and enjoy walking around as much. And well, I wanted to do that this summer. I live even more close to downtown now, and so I've canceled my bus pass. I've been walking all over the place. But I had to buy a bus pass again because I can't walk. Anyways, so I really enjoyed this book. It's really a manifesto to encourage people to get up and walk. You've probably heard in the last few years that sitting is the new deadly disease. We sit too much as a society, as a people. And walking even just a little bit before and after work can make a big difference, and if you walk even more, then even better for you. A friend of mine who's into running a lot was telling me, we've had discussions about walking and running, and I still want to get into running, or at least jogging moderately, but she was telling me you basically get the same benefits from walking as from running, and I thought that was interesting, and that appeals to this side of me that is lazier and would rather spend more time doing something and enjoying it, basically. Just to read from the back of this book, basically there's no magic solution to our modern epidemics such as obesity, anxiety, feelings of alienation and climate change, but maybe walking and taking a first step in this direction might be the first step towards healing these issues, not just from a personal point of view, but also from a humanitarian, humanistic, sociological point of view. The book is based on interviews that he's led with people in Canada, in the US, and in the UK, so it's very Eurocentric, and it very much applies to our context. He also cites a few times Rebecca Solnit's Wanderlust book, which I've also been meaning to read. And I will look up to see if there are books written in the context of, say, South America or Asia or Africa, because I figure their context might be different as opposed to ours, and I might find more walking inspiration there as well. So, I'm back. Thank you for watching. Read this book. Enjoy this book. Go outside, take a walk, especially a walk in nature is even more beneficial for yourselves. And hopefully next time that I see you, my foot will be mostly healed and I will have started walking again without the moon boot, which is now my plaster / constant companion. I'll see you soon. Bye.